Today, we're diving into a case that, well, frankly, it's a case that has haunted investigators, a community, for decades. The disappearance of Margaret Fox.
A case that takes us back to a different time. June 24th, 1974, in Burlington City, New Jersey, when 14-year-old Margaret vanished without a trace.
It all started, well, it seemed like a normal summer day, and Margaret was excited about her first babysitting job.
Yeah.
And she boarded a bus to Mount Holly. But she never arrived.
No. Her disappearance, it gripped the community and sparked a massive search. And what makes this case even more intriguing, I think, are the details surrounding the job offer itself.
Okay, let's talk about that. What can you tell us about the initial contact and the person who made the offer?
Well, the job ad was placed by Margaret's cousin. A man calling himself John Marshall responded, offering a generous, well, $40 a week. He spoke directly with Margaret's father, assuring him that everything was, above board.
This is where I think the lack of technology in 1974 really hits home. John Marshall provided a phone number, but it wasn't linked to a residence. It was a payphone outside an A&P supermarket.
Yeah.
Trying to track down a lead just based solely on a payphone number in today's world of GPS and cell records is mind-boggling. That's the uphill battle investigators faced back then.
Absolutely. This seemingly simple detail, it just highlights the challenges of investigating a case from that era. It adds another layer of complexity to an already perplexing situation.
So Margaret boards the bus, full of anticipation for her first job, and disappears. What do we know about her last known movements?
Witnesses reported seeing her disembarking the bus in Mount Holly and possibly speaking to a man in a red sports car. However, those accounts, they were never definitively confirmed. This is where the trail goes cold.
It's almost like she vanished into thin air.
Yeah.
What happened next?
Yeah.
How did the investigation unfold?
Well, Burlington City Police, the FBI, and other agencies, they launched a massive search.
Right.
They employed techniques common at the time, canvassing neighborhoods, conducting countless interviews, even bringing in psychics.
Psychics? It seems almost out of a 70s detective show. It's fascinating to see how investigative methods have evolved over the years.
Yeah, it is. While the use of psychics didn't yield any concrete results, it reflects the investigative landscape of that time. However, the investigation it took a chilling turn when Margaret's family started receiving ransom calls and letters.
Let's talk about those. What do we know about these messages?
Just days after Margaret vanished, a call came to the Fox family home. A man's voice demanded $10,000 for Margaret's safe return.
Okay.
The FBI later released a recording of that call in 2019.
Oh, wow.
A letter followed, echoing the demand and containing the phrase, $10,000 might be a lot of bread, but your daughter's life is the buttered topping.
These details are chilling. You've probably seen this tactic in countless crime dramas, but back then, it was cutting edge for investigators to deal with. What happened next? Was the call traced back to the same payphone?
Yes. The call did originate from that same payphone outside the A&P supermarket.
Okay.
Investigators naturally focused their attention on, John Marshall.
Yeah.
And they looked into the employee with that name who worked at the A&P.
So was this John Marshall the man behind the calls and Margaret's disappearance?
Well, he was questioned extensively and subjected to a polygraph test, a tool commonly used in investigations at the time.
Right.
He maintained his innocence, claiming he was working during Margaret's disappearance.
Did anyone corroborate his alibi?
His coworkers did confirm his account, and he was ultimately cleared of suspicion. However, even with corroboration, there were still lingering questions.
This brings up a point we touched upon earlier, the limitations of technology and investigative tools in 1974. The reliability of polygraph tests, even today it's debated.
Yeah.
So even with a seemingly solid alibi, the shadow of doubt, it remained.
It did.
If not the A&P employee, then who? Did investigators identify any other strong suspects?
Several individuals became persons of interest. One that stood out was a man from Mount Holly, a convicted sex offender with a British accent. This piqued the investigators' interest because some witnesses, including Margaret's father, mentioned that the John Marshall on the phone, he had a distinct way of speaking, almost like a military accent. It seemed like there might be a connection.
So we have a potential profile match.
Yeah.
What happened when they investigated this man further?
The details were unsettling. This man had a 1975 charge for lewdness and assault on a minor, and he drove a red Volkswagen. similar to a description given by a witness who saw Margaret speaking to a man in a red car.
Oh, wow.
These similarities were definitely concerning.
It seems like the pieces were starting to fit together.
However, the investigation, it took another turn. The FBI, despite thoroughly investigating him, they concluded he wasn't involved. This is where a difference of opinion emerged between the FBI and the Burlington County Prosecutor's Office, who believed this man could be connected to Margaret's disappearance. They saw the similarities as too significant to ignore.
That's quite a discrepancy. What were the reasons behind these differing conclusions?
The FBI's decision was partly based on the fact that his fingerprints didn't match those found on the ransom notes.
Okay.
Additionally, he had an alibi for the time of Margaret's disappearance, meticulously documented in logs he kept as a ham radio operator.
Wow.
This detailed record made it difficult to place him at the scene.
So another dead end. But with lingering questions and conflicting opinions from law enforcement agencies, were there any other significant leads in Margaret's case?
There were a few other leads, but none that provided, definitive answers. A Pennsylvania man falsely confessed to Margaret's abduction and murder, but his story quickly unraveled. Investigators also looked into Ted Bundy, as his modus operandi involved luring young women, but his whereabouts at the time ruled him out as a suspect.
It's a complex web of clues, dead ends, and unanswered questions. Margaret's case, it remains a puzzle that has haunted investigators for years.
Margaret's case, it's a stark reminder of the investigative hurdles faced in the 1970s.
It's like stepping back in time and realizing the tools we take for granted today, they simply didn't exist.
Just imagine trying to solve a case like this without DNA testing, without cell phone tracking, or sophisticated computer databases.
It's hard to fathom how investigators operated with such limited resources.
Precisely. In 1974, they relied heavily on traditional methods like door-to-door canvassing, witness interviews, and painstakingly analyzing physical evidence.
And of course, there was the reliance on polygraph tests.
Yeah.
Which, as we discussed, have their own set of limitations and controversies.
Yeah.
Even today.
Right.
It's fascinating to see how forensic science, how it has advanced in the decades and the decades since. Today, we have DNA profiling, facial recognition software, and digital forensics, tools that can provide crucial insights and breakthroughs in investigations.
Yeah, it's a testament to how far we've come in terms of technology and its application in crime solving.
It is.
Yet even with all these advancements, cases like Margaret's, they highlight how a well-planned crime, especially in an era with fewer safeguards, can still baffle investigators.
It's a chilling thought that some mysteries, they may remain unsolved, despite our best efforts.
Margaret's disappearance also underscores, I think, the evolution of societal awareness surrounding child safety.
It's hard to imagine a time when stranger danger wasn't a common phrase.
Yeah.
A constant reminder for parents and children alike.
The 1970s, they marked, a turning point in this awareness.
Mm-hmm.
High-profile cases like Margaret's, along with the emergence of organizations like the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children,
Right.
They helped shift the national conversation.
It's a tragic catalyst for change. But it's important to acknowledge how such cases have shaped our approach to child safety.
Unfortunately, that's often how societal shifts occur.
Yeah.
We learn from painful experiences and strive to prevent similar tragedies from happening again.
So looking back at Margaret's case and considering all that we've learned, what are some key takeaways that we can apply today, especially in a world that's vastly different from 1974?
First and foremost, the importance of vigilance, it remains paramount. While we've made, significant strides in child safety, parents and guardians, they need to stay informed and proactive.
Absolutely. We have resources and information available today that simply didn't exist back then.
Yeah.
For example, the internet. While a valuable tool, also presents, new dangers and challenges.
Exactly. Educating children about online safety, teaching them how to navigate the digital world responsibly. It's crucial in today's environment.
Another takeaway that stands out is the power of community involvement.
Absolutely. In Margaret's case, the community of Burlington City, they mobilized. Neighbors organized searches, shared information, and supported the family. It highlights the importance of collective action, especially in times of crisis.
It's a reminder that even in the face of tragedy and uncertainty, a community can come together to offer hope and support.
And finally, Margaret's case, it emphasizes the importance of never giving up hope, of continuing to seek answers, even when decades have passed. The dedication of investigators like retired Detective Michael DeLessio, who took on the case years later, it's inspiring.
Their commitment to seeking justice, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, it's a testament to the human spirit.
Indeed.
And while we may never know definitively what happened to Margaret, the search for answers, the pursuit of justice, it's a testament to her enduring legacy.
Her story, it serves as a poignant reminder of a time when our understanding of child safety was different.
Right.
And it compels us to reflect on how far we've come and how much we've learned.
Speaking of unsolved mysteries, it's fascinating how these cases, despite the passage of time, continue to captivate our attention. What is it about Margaret's story and others like it that resonates so deeply with us?
I think it's the human element that draws us in. We can all relate to the vulnerability of a young girl, the unimaginable pain of a family left with unanswered questions. These cases touch on universal themes of loss, of hope, and the pursuit of justice.
It's a story that transcends the specifics of the case itself. It speaks to our shared humanity, our desire to understand and make sense of the world around us, especially when confronted with tragedy.
And the mystery itself, the unanswered questions, they fuel our inherent curiosity. We crave closure, a resolution to the narrative. It's like an unfinished puzzle that we yearn to complete.
Margaret's case, despite its tragic nature, has also had a positive impact, contributing to advancements in child safety measures, greater awareness of stranger danger, and a more collaborative approach to investigations.
Her story, while heartbreaking, serves as a reminder of how much we've learned and how far we've come in protecting children. It's a legacy, albeit a painful one, that continues to shape our understanding of the world and our responsibilities to one another.
Now we've discussed the investigative details, the societal impact, and the enduring human element of Margaret's case. But what about the broader implications of unsolved mysteries? How do these cases continue to affect communities and shape our understanding of justice and closure?
Unsolved mysteries like Margaret's, they often become deeply ingrained in the fabric of a community.
Yeah, they're more than just cold cases. They become open wounds, a constant reminder of a loss that never truly heals.
And in a way, these unsolved mysteries, they can shape the identity of a place, becoming woven into its folklore, passed down through generations.
It's almost like a shared history, a collective memory that binds people together, even in the face of tragedy.
And in some instances, these unsolved mysteries can act as a catalyst for positive change. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths, to re-examine our systems and strive for improvement.
We see that in Margaret's case, which highlighted the critical need for better communication and cooperation between law enforcement agencies.
Right.
It also spurred advancements in child safety measures, a legacy that continues to protect countless children today.
It does.
So even when a definitive answer remains elusive, these cases can have a profound and lasting impact.
Absolutely. They challenge us to think critically, to examine the evidence, and to grapple with the complexities of truth and justice.
It reminds us that sometimes the journey of seeking answers is just as important as the destination itself.
It is.
Margaret's disappearance, though shrouded in sadness, has prompted a collective reflection on how we protect our most vulnerable citizens. It's a story that compels us to remain vigilant, to advocate for change, and to never lose sight of the human cost of unsolved mysteries.
Yeah.
As we conclude our deep dive into Margaret Fox's case, it's crucial to remember that behind the headlines, the investigative details and the lingering questions, there's a family who has endured a profound and immeasurable loss.
Yeah.
Their unwavering hope for answers, their dedication to keeping Margaret's memory alive is a testament to the enduring power of love and resilience in the face of of unimaginable heartbreak.
And while Margaret's fate remains unknown, her story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of community, its compassion, and the pursuit of justice, no matter how much time has passed.
If Margaret's story has resonated with you, if it sparked your own thoughts or theories, we encourage you to share them and keep the conversation going. Every piece of information, no matter how small, could potentially help bring closure to this decades-old mystery.
Margaret's case is a stark reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, hope persists, and the search for truth must never end.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the haunting disappearance of Margaret Fox. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and never stop seeking answers.